better for that.
Alright, there you go.
You're waking up.
All stations on this net. This is Corsair Base. ID detonation on friendly forces confirmed.
Assessment viscosity is very high.
On me. Striking.
You're coming up. Alright. Rocket. It actually is supposed to have the mount for a commander gun, but it doesn't, so we don't have to worry about that. It has a coax 7.62, I believe, and it also has a front gun. This thing has limited traversal, so you know this is not a threat if you're off to the side or anything like that. Everybody want to just walk around the tank, look at it.
Can we get in it?
Slow no. This sloped armor, yeah, it's supposed to provide protection. It's actually something that the Soviets came up with that was a ingenious idea. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it's sloped at a 45-degree angle on the front. And what that does is, effectively, when a round is coming straight on the tank, it's not only to deflect, but if you have 2 inches of armor and you slope it at a 45-degree angle, when the round hits the armor, it has to go through 4 inches of armor if it actually tries to penetrate when it's sloped at a 45-degree angle. So it actually doubles the armor, and also, you know, the deflection factor too, because it could possibly deflect the round off. Most tanks implement sloped armor now, so it's kind of a smart idea they came up with. Your weaker points are the weaker points of any tank is going to be the rear. If you can't get a rear shot, then you know you're going to want a side. And you never want to shoot any kind of heavy armor on a deflecting shot. You always want to hit them square on the side or square on the back. All else fails and you can't get any of those, try to hit where the turret and the hull meet one another. That's a weak point on pretty much every tank in existence. And you'll notice the turret shape. The turret looks massive. If you haven't, like, if you compare it to the tank silhouette, the turret's really dome shaped and it's really big on top of the vehicle. So it's pretty easy to spot. Yeah, and the turret's just like a huge dome. It's like a big. When I pull up to T-72, we'll see what I'm talking about. They tried to flatten that out and actually give it a lower silhouette. But everybody just, like, what's the difference that you see that's really easy to tell in the T-55 and T-34? Just anybody. I don't care who answers. Yeah, the gun is longer by far. It's got a longer, bigger gun on it. Anybody else? The wheels. Yeah, the light is a good giveaway. The track system. Anybody notice the difference in the track systems? Besides that they're, well, I mean not besides, but like they seem fatter on the T-55, and the wheels are also bigger. The tracks in general are just bigger. Alright, so that's a T-55. Everybody think they can spot one of these. Ignore paint jobs too. That's some of them have like Russian variants, insurgent variants, Takistan variants. So everybody should know what this is. It's one of the more common tanks. There's over, apparently according to the wiki, there was over 25,000 of these things produced in the various variants. It's a 125mm smoothbore gun on it. You'll notice it's got smoke launchers. I don't know if that's correct or not. That's supposedly a B upgrade that they actually put on them. This is the original A variant. It's the OG, original, freaking made one. It's got that same optic system on the front You can look and see it's got the infrared light. Yep. It's also got 7.62 coax, and in this variant, for some reason, I believe, I'm gonna hop in the commander seat real quick, just to double check what this gun is. Yeah, they actually do. This gun is a NSVT 12.7 millimeter. It's the same caliber, I believe, and everything as the Dishka, but that's actually made for anti-aircraft purposes right there. That commander's gun, what it was designed for. Not that it stops ARMA from shooting you with it, so don't get in sights of it. You'll notice there's in ARMA there's no. You can see the fuel tank carriers back here for external fuel tanks, but there's no fuel tanks on it. T-72s also have this wooden log across the back of them. Pretty sure that's put there for when they get stuck. They actually take that off and they throw it under the tracks, I believe, to gain traction and like muck and mud, so they can loose, I guess you could say. Yeah. The armor on this thing's basic. I think it's just your basic steel armor and so on. Weak points again, back and sides. You know, it's all the same stuff. Pretty much for any tank, you're gonna want to hit them in the back or the sides. You don't want to shoot them in the front. Alright, so let's, the turret shape I was talking about, you'll notice that it's less dome shaped. They tried to squash it down. It's got that less rounded shape to it. It's pretty easy to spot. Can everybody see that? Compared to the T-55?
Yeah.
You'll notice it's bigger than the T-55, like size-wise, but it's actually shorter height-wise. I'm not sure.
Joined your channel.
Oh, there's blood. It was equipped with an autoloader. I don't know. The original version had tons of problems with it. It's a 3-man crew, commander, gunner, and driver, with an automatic loading system. So yeah, that's actually... The original version was junk, and the load times on it were trash. So that was actually not a perk in the old school version. But in the newer, like, T90s, which also still implement the autoloader, I believe, it's actually faster than most tank crews can load, but it puts out about the same rounds. In ARMA, I think no matter what, I think they're all pretty much the same. And they can put out rounds about as fast as a M1 Abrams in ARMA. Alright, so anybody want to give me a couple differences on the T-72 versus either the T-55 or T-34? It doesn't matter.
Shorter, like to the ground.
Yeah, lower profile, lower silhouette.
As well as that log in the back.
Yeah, the log. Yep. Now that gun right there, actually not that gun, but they would mount, in real life they'd mount a Dishka on this thing too sometimes, the T-55 over here. But I don't think any of the ARMA variants have the Dishka mounted. Alright, so, now, yeah, the tracks are different, but yeah, a good catch on the side skirts, Havoc. If you notice, the other two don't have skirts over their tracks. You can see the top of the track. This one actually has a skirt covering the top. Now, from what I was reading, I think they got these backwards, but we'll just run with it. Between the next two, I mean. Alright, so this is the T-72B. Right off the bat, since we know everything about the T-72, give me some similarities between the A and the B. Similarities. Yeah. Alright, somebody else.
A little bit more smoke.
Right, that's one upgrade they actually added. I think that, from what I was reading, the A shouldn't really have any smoke on it at all. And the B, actually, they introduced smoke launchers onto it. Though, you know, they could have retrofitted the A with smoke, who knows. Somebody else answer, though, like Nate or Viper or Wood. Give me something similar about the two.
Everything but the armor.
Yeah.
Armor in a turret.
Yeah, that's pretty much right, yeah. It's the same setup, it's got the same, like, wood log on the back here. I mean, everything's pretty much the same. It's missing the external fuel tanks. Again, it shows the carriers for them, but they're not on the tank. Just give me the difference that everybody sees, anybody, I don't care who. The difference between the B and the A.
Reactive armor.
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah. It's got the ERD bricks all over it. Or, I mean, ERA, sorry. Explosive reactive armor is supposed to be, from what I read, that's actually the BA, and this is supposed to have, ceramic armor. I don't know if these are supposed to be ceramic bricks or explosive reactive, but I'm pretty sure they look like explosive reactive to me. The, next tank actually looks like it has the ceramic, so I think they might have switched them, but I'm not sure. Everybody knows how explosive reactive armor works, right? No? Okay. Yeah, no, I'm guessing no by silence. It's pretty much when a round hits, the plates explode to counteract the effect of the charge. So as it tries to penetrate, the force of the explosion where it hits actually forces it back and lessens the impact on the tank. So it prevents it from actually penetrating the armor. Everybody understand what I'm getting at?
Duh.
Yeah. And in ARMA, it is actually modeled. Like, you can smack an A in the side and kill it pretty easily. When you hit these things in the side, they don't die so easy. So, it's why kind of a big deal that when you call out, T-72, you need to specify B. Or I mean, I don't care if you specify B or not, but you need to recognize that the bricks are reactive. You know what I mean? Or this could also be ceramic. Either way, it's up-armored itself. I get confused by the Russian tanks, I'm not gonna lie, because of the 14 different variants of the damn thing, and the fact that they all don't really list whether or not this is... anytime I see the bricks, I get that it's ERA, so... That was actually supposed to be a BA upgrade, but we won't go into it. So yeah, bricks are explosive reactive. Just either call out that it has ERA on it, or just designate it as a B, which is what this one is. Everybody see that? Okay, so B, explosive reactive armor. Okay. Notice it.
Armor looks different.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this should be the ceramic plates right here. You'll notice they focused on the turret and on the crew areas. They didn't protect vital areas with the ceramic armor, like the engine. You'll notice it's just like the T-72A. I believe this model also had upgraded armor. They actually thickened the basic armor on it, but they also added the ceramic plates. These three plates here, you'll notice they're right where the crew guy sits, the driver. That's to prevent the driver from getting taken out, I guess. They have them on the front here. You can see them bolted on also, right over the driver section. And then you'll see these angled plates around the turret and on top of the turret. Now you'll notice they use the explosive reactive tiles across the very top, but then on the edges of the turret they have the ceramic plates at, 45-degree angles, looks like. Or actually, that looks a little bit steeper. I don't know, maybe it's 45. And it's got the same smoke launchers as the B. It's pretty much a B with just the armor changed out.
What's that thing sticking out the back of the turret?
That thing right there?
Yeah, it's like green. Sticking straight up behind the disco.
Oh, this thing back here?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Air hole.
Yeah, I don't
Periscope.
know. Forgot to mention with the T-55, they all tried to add in an environmental system for these tanks. because of at that time with T-55s and stuff, it was all Cold War nuclear bombs and stuff like that. So the T-55A, that's what they actually made the T-55 from. The T-54 is the same as the T-55, except the T-55 actually got an environmental system that was supposed to trigger when a nuclear bomb went off, to keep the crew alive within a certain distance, so that it could filter out like radiation and so on. But yeah, so you should be able to spot this and be able to tell me that this is a BA or that it has ceramic armor on it. The plates on the side here, especially at a distance, is probably going to be pretty hard to notice, but that turret shape is pretty dead giveaway. Those angled plates on the turret. So which one is this again?
BA.
Yeah, Shocky's answer and everything.
Badass.
Yeah, there you go, badass. Except I think the B explosive reactive works better than the ceramic. This is
What the hell?
T-72M.
Monkey.
And actually, not Nate, Woodrat just nailed it. They actually called this the monkey version. It's export version from Mother Russia or whatever. This is what they sold to other countries. You'll notice, just right off the bat, everybody should notice this looks almost exactly like an A. Actually,
Yeah.
this looked exactly like a freaking A. There's almost no
Minus the
difference.
smoke.
Actually, it's got smoke right where the
Well,
A does.
Well, it's different.
Wheel's different.
Oh. Now, can anybody throw a guess out there why this one's different than the A?
Cheaper?
Junk.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly right. And Shocky was right too, it's cheaper. And the reason it's cheaper is because the M has reduced armor. The firing system is completely, degraded. Like, it's a downgraded version. The gun system, I believe, is downgraded also. I don't know if you noticed that when I told you the gun on the T-55 is actually a rifled barrel. All the T-72s are smoothbore. The B was actually supposed to get the upgrade of fire missiles out the barrel, which is like a T-90, but we won't. I don't know if in ARMA the B actually has the missiles. Does anybody know?
No idea.
I'll check.
Not that I can recall.
But yeah, so the M and the A are going to be kind of hard to tell the difference between. But yep, this has got the 9M119 reflex. So yes, this has the AT missile in it. It's actually, everybody thinks that they're so badass and stuff. In real life, those missiles are terribly accurate and they don't work at all. And the whole design purpose of them, they were supposed to fire out to like 4 miles or something like that. Some crazy. And it was actually to counteract the Abrams being able to kill things on the move at like 2 miles with its main gun using a Sabo round. And they don't work. They're not as accurate. Now, the T-90 is in competition with its main gun and its range on its main gun just because of its upgraded firing system, but I still think the Abrams, without that missile that the T-90 has, I still think the Abrams has a further effective range than it, with using standard rounds, I mean. But they try to say that those missiles are effective, and they actually give the T-90 like 4 kilometer effective tank killing range or something, or 4 mile or something like that. Anybody guess what this is?
T-90?
This is a T-90. Now, real quick, can anybody tell me similarities between this and any of the T-72s?
Turret?
Same chassis.
Yep. Yep, that's exactly right. The T-90 is a T-72. It got a different designation because they gutted it and pretty much gave it every upgrade of another tank called a T80. The T80 was high priced and overly complex, so they took all the good features from it, took a T72 chassis, beefed up the armor and such, and then threw all those upgrades in the tank, and then you get a T90. So everybody should notice that it has the 3 plates here and the angle plates on the turret, like a BA, so obviously ceramic plated right now. It also has a 125mm smoothbore on it, and has the capability of firing missiles. And you'll notice something on the back. The carriers are back here, and what else is on top of the carrier?
Gas cans.
Yep. So one way to identify a T90 if you're not sure, which it's really not that hard to tell the difference, is to look for the gas tanks on the back of a tank that looks like a T72. Other stuff you'll notice, it has an automated defense system. These 2 things on the sides of the turret here, they're like boxes with like black holes on them. Those are infrared signature sensors. I'm pretty sure anyway. What happens is, I'm pretty sure that's the things that sense the laser. What happens is, when you go to laser them, or put any kind of laser designator, rangefinder, anything on them, and they sense the laser, you'll notice that a T90 will usually automatically launch smoke. You might not know where you're at, but it'll pop smoke. It'll shoot them out of the smoke launchers. And that's because that's the automated defense system kicking in. It actually detects the laser. That's what that whole system's about. So you gotta be careful when you're ranging on these things. I've actually never tested it, I'm not gonna lie. Whether or not you can range find them from the rear and get them to, and you'll be fine. But I know if you shine it anywhere near the front, they immediately pop smoke. Same gun. I actually think that this one might have a dishcom mounted on top of it though. So that's another difference you can. Yep, no, it's a cord. Sorry, yeah, the longer barrel and such. So you should be able to see the difference between the 2 guns too. The flash suppressor,
Yeah.
completely
That
different.
flash suppressor is huge.
It's also
The ammo
got
box.
yeah, the ammo box is on it. Good job. I think it's got a catch pouch on it too. Somebody hot micing. Hot mic, hot mic.
Wood.
What's up, Wood?
There you go.
Alright. Alright, so everybody thinks they can tell a T90 from a T72 now. And the model for this, does the T72 have it? No, I don't think so. Their exhaust curves down and goes out underneath the track. But if you look at this one, on this side, you'll see an exhaust port that's actually open. Yeah. Yeah. If you look at the T72s, it curves down, I believe, in the same spot, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and another thing about these, it has covers over top of the back exhaust that actually open when you're driving the tank. So if you see when I hit the gas, they actually flop open a little bit more. Bounce. Yeah. The T72s don't have those covers, they're just open there. I didn't mention anything like engine upgrades and stuff because, again, I don't think in ARMA that kind of stuff is important. This thing's a beast though, so like the T90's the end-all be-all for them right now. It's out there, Abrams. And in ARMA, of course, that means it's better. Differences from the last tank. The one thing I'm going to say right now is I'm going to tell you, if you can spot them, you're awesome, because I can't spot them. It looks like the same tank to me, pretty much. This is a T90A, which means there was probably some upgrades But since they're so similar, if you call out T90, it's pretty much just a T90. I don't expect you to like get a measuring tape and measure the exhaust, yeah, or like crawl in the engine bay and tell me that they upgraded the snorkel or something like that. You know, it's same systems. It's got the same IR detection on it for if you laze it. It's got the same everything pretty much. That is a good question. I would like. I'm gonna try to find out what that vertical post is, those Shocky that they added to these things, and see.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't. It's probably some kind of radio antenna or something. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, so pretty much if you see a T90A or a T90 and you call T90, it's fine. They have the same armor, so well, from the looks of it, they have the same exact armors and they said same exact countermeasure system, so it's going to be the same exact fight. But when it's a big difference when you call it a T90A and a T90B. It's kind of, you know, or a T90M versus a T90B. That's a huge difference. Do we need a Javelin or an airstrike, or do we need just a AT4 or a Law? You know, it's a kind of a big difference. Alright, so we're done with heavy armor for now. And next we're going to move on to tracked APCs.